Joining us now as part of our State of Investing series is Alaska Permanent Fund Corporation CEO Angela Rodell. Angela, thanks so much for joining us and a very good afternoon to you. To kick things off, I wanted to go big picture and just to what extent you were concerned about the way in which the markets keep hitting these records and whether they're just pushed there by excessive stimulus and that the party's got to end at some point.
No, I think you raise a really good question for all institutional investors right now. We take a look at this. We see the returns we've had this year, 29.7% on the fund. We look at the dependencies that we have on this fund here in Alaska, and we wonder how much longer this can continue. I think it's really important, though, to remember we're long-term investors, and we want to keep holding the line on our asset allocation and stay disciplined in all of this and not move off or into various trends. But the markets have been really good to all of us.
I read from some notes that you shared that you're excited about energy transition. Does that mean sell oil altogether or in fact that we still rely on it for quite a few more decades more?
It really is the latter. In our case here in Alaska, as many people know, we are an oil-producing state. It continues to be an important component of our jobs, our economy. And so as we watch energy transition, it's really important that we recognize the time frame, how that's all going to work and operate, and invest in the opportunity set as companies make that transition. I think we see all the majors going into a direction that recognizes a different future than what we've seen in the past, and we want to be a part of that transition and not abandon it.
Angela, it's Morgan. I want to dig into that a little bit more, but first, just looking at your funds and specifically one of the names that we've certainly been paying very close attention to here and that you own is GameStop. In a week where we're very focused on the so-called meme names as we're seeing earnings from some of the other constituents, I guess, in this retail investor group, why are you invested there? How long would you continue to be invested there given the gains we've seen in the stock?
I think that's a really good question. We are invested in GameStop through our holdings in passive index funds. So we don't dictate which stocks are in those particular index funds, and we've been the beneficiaries of what's happened to something like GameStop. But I think it would defy the whole investment strategy if we started to go in and started picking and choosing which stocks needed to stay in that index and which stocks had to come out of that index. So we're going to stay in GameStop as long as it's part of the index.
Got it. And just in terms of the Alaska...
We mentioned...
Go ahead, Wilf.
Oh, I was just going to say, you mentioned, Angela, there the point on energy, and what outside of that is your top sector pick at the moment over a sort of 12 to 24-month time horizon?
I think we continue to be really excited about technology in a lot of different spaces, whether it's biotech. We've done really well in the biotech space. Beer Bio, which was one of we were an early stage investor in that, has done really well coming out of the pandemic, has benefited from the technological changes in all that we've learned around COVID. That's one of our top 10 holdings. When we look forward towards sectors, I think technology continues to change the way we're going to deliver education, how we're going to make the energy transition, how we're going to change labor and how we work. The fact that I'm sitting in Juneau, Alaska, doing this interview right now, I think is a testament to how much the world has changed and how rapidly it has changed.